This question comes from Matt. What would happen if the moon were replaced by a black hole of the same mass, and how would lunar or solar eclipses look? I won't spoil the full details just yet, but suffice it to say, we'd need to measure changes in milledegrees Fahrenheit to notice any effect on Earth. A black hole with the moon's mass would have an event horizon about the size of a grain of sand. In other words, it could pass through almost anything, obliterating it in the process. But that's a side note. Once you enter a black hole, its singularity isn't a location in space, but a point in time. Since the moon's mass and orbit remain the same, Earth's motion and tides wouldn't change. Gravity behaves as if the mass were concentrated at a single point. For comparison, if the sun were replaced by a black hole of equal mass, Earth's orbit would remain unaffected, though life here would certainly be impacted. Without the moon's surface, there would be no moonlight, affecting nocturnal animals' life cycles. Still, compared to the changes humans have already made to wildlife, this would be minor. A moon-mass black hole wouldn't evaporate via Hawking radiation. Instead, it would absorb more energy from the cosmic background than it emits. It would remain nearly invisible unless it began consuming objects, which would produce immense radiation via Fortunately, there isn't much near the moon for it to eat, so it would mostly nudge tiny dust particles around. Interestingly, Earth would get slightly colder. Moonlight contributes to a 28-day temperature cycle, with Earth being warmest during a full moon. Most of this effect isn't from visible moonlight hits, due to Earth being closer to the sun during a full moon. The moon's infrared radiation has a more significant warming effect than its visible light, but it's still extremely small, about 1.2000 degrees Fahrenheit. Without moonlight, Earth would cool very slightly, but with rising co-lebel, the difference would be negligible and offset within weeks. In short, replacing the moon with a black hole of equal mass would have surprisingly little effect on Earth. Unless, of course, it happened during a historic lunar landing. Things might have felt a little different. P.S. If the moon were replaced with a black hole of the same size instead of mass, it would contain roughly 600 times the mass of the sun. In that case, we would definitely be in serious trouble.